Good morning. It is Tuesday, October 28th, 2025, and I'll call to order the Story County Board of Supervisors. Please stand if you are able to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If there are no changes, I'll take a motion to adopt today's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Merkin?
Aye.
Basil?
Aye.
Heddens, aye. Now is the time for public comment number one. This comment period for the public to address topics on today's agenda. If you're in the public meeting room and would like to make public comment, please come forward. Or if you're on Zoom, please raise your hand. And seeing none, we will close public comment number one. We're going to move on for a recognition of Dalton Johnston for his 5 years of service to Story County Planning and Zoning Commission. And I would just like to say that Dalton has served on the Story County Planning and Zoning Commission from September 2020 through June 2025. Throughout that time, Dalton has attended 32 meetings of the Planning and Zoning Commission, reviewing nearly 70 development applications. And these cases included the following: 9 C2C amendments, including the many discussions and public hearings regarding the Ames Urban Fringe Plan, 4 rezoning applications, 12 conditional use permits, 17 text amendments, including the Natural Resources Amendment, as well as addition of the accessory dwelling units in our zoning districts, 4 subdivisions, and 23 actions by the commission categorized as other items, including but not limited to work program discussions, calendar approvals, training opportunities, and more. And on behalf of the Planning and Zoning Commission and the board, Dalton, we just want to thank you for all your volunteer contributions to Story County and to the Planning Commission. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
We have come up.
I'm gonna take a picture, so why don't you come up here? You get the medal. And we also have something for you to take with you. Oh, look at that center. Sorry.
Right. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, babe.
Yeah, thank you, Dalton. This is for your years of service.
Perfect. Thank you.
Board?
No, I'm sorry. No,
Okay.
It's always fun to be able to recognize people for all the work that they do for our county. It's very much appreciated, and
Definitely.
I know it can be time consuming.
And sometimes thankless.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
I don't know how we'd do the work of the county if we didn't have all the volunteers.
exactly.
We do. That's
Exactly,
incredible.
exactly. Next, we'll move on. We have agency reports. We have the Ames Regional Economic Alliance Workforce Development Quarterly Report. Good morning, Shannon.
Morning.
Thanks for having me here this morning. So I just wanted to cover what the Ames Regional Economic Alliance did in Q3 as far as workforce goes. So starting off with our retraining program, we have 17 current participants: Ames, Madrid, Nevada, and Slater. You can see that the average age is around 42 years old. For 2025 totals, we've had 46 participants. And the cities that have been served have been Ames, Slater, Madrid, Nevada, Huxley. And as far as the programs that we've offered so far in 2025, we've had 14 CNA, 4 sterile processing, 6 phlebotomy, 7 CDL, 5 office specialist, 5 IT help desk, 1 CPR, 3 welding, and 1 cybersecurity. So you can kind of see the different ranges of the programs. And then Anchored Hope had reached out to us. It's an Ames nonprofit that provides a safe transitional living program for young adults who have aged out of the foster care system. So they're learning how to get more plugged in. We think that the retraining program would be great for those young adults. Those young adults grow within a supportive community and offers life skills trainings to help them become independent and thriving adults. So this would be a really, really great program offering. I know me and Elizabeth Berg, another staff member at the Alliance, met with Supervisor Linda Merkin yesterday, and we have some other great ideas to kind of continue to push this retraining program out. As far as live, work, play, and aims goes, we have 806 job postings, 653 in Story County. You can see how many views we've had on Facebook since June 1st. And something fun that we did just a couple weeks ago, we branded one of the Fairway semis. So as you can see, that live, work, play, and aims brand. So if anyone searches liveinames.com, workinames.com, or playinames.com, they can get plugged in. The Story County unemployment rate at 3.2%, and then a success story of someone that we connected with a local job on our Work and Aims job board. They had said, "I am very grateful for your encouragement and guidance, which have helped me to take this step forward." So really great work there. As you can see, the Q3 events recap, some upcoming Q4 events. So actually later today, we are hosting the Highway 30 Corridor Career Fairs from 2 to 5 at the Ames Public Library. Right now, we have 15 businesses that will be there that are looking to hire. And then we will end off the career fairs in Boone in 2 weeks. Area YP is hosting an etiquette dinner. Rising Leaders Academy will have our entrepreneurs and college day and our resume interview skills, our annual event, and women in leadership. So a lot of really good things coming up in the pipeline. But as far as some workforce events that we hosted in Q3, so we had our Teaching for the Workforce, where 13 educators came to participate in this program. And we made visits to Mary Greeley Medical Center, Danfoss, Iowa DOT, and this really gave teachers firsthand look at what employers are looking for as far as soft skills and what certificates that they may need or degrees as those students graduate and look to join our workforce. Me and Elizabeth also went to the ISU Welcome Fest, where we promoted that Live, Work, Play, and Aims brand. We engaged with hundreds of ISU students, talked about our job board, how they can get plugged in, looking for good work and good jobs here. Rising Leaders Academy. So that actually started on October 7th. We had our healthcare day over at Mary Greeley Medical Center, and there's 17 high school students. So last year we had 10, this year we had 17. So really growing this program, but students came from Boone, Nevada, Colonesco, Gilbert, Roland, and Ames, where they explore careers in all different topics. We just started in healthcare. And I am a part of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation Business Leads Fellowship Program. So I went to Washington, D.C. to learn from other chamber professionals about workforce issues. So we're starting off with childcare. We meet once a month virtually, and it will cover all workforce issues. So really excited to bring back what I learned from other states to our county. Area interns graduation, that happened this past summer with professional headshots, but we saw over 90 interns in this program, and that's really grown as well. So our reach has been expanding. And then Area YP Lunch and Learn, we did a session over at Mary Greeley where we learned how to climb the corporate ladder. So trying to gain these confidence within these young professionals so that they can grow into future leadership roles. And it was a really great event. Any questions?
Do you connect with Eric Kress with Workforce?
I
thought that
do,
you do.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes. Yep. So we try to meet at least once a month virtually,
good,
just on workforce issues and what's going on.
good. I just had a meeting 7:30 this morning with
Oh,
them. So
awesome. Great. Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
So, good.
The Rising Leaders Academy, that's something that these high school students sign up for and then participate in through the year? Is
Yep.
that it?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's an 8-month program. They signed up, filled out a pretty extensive application, honestly, with different references and making sure that we can kind of gauge on what students are looking for different careers and how we can kind of help them. So I think we had over 25 applications this year and we accepted 17. So really trying to get those students who may be undecided, they don't know what careers that they want to do, so we can help guide them throughout this program.
For the other supervisors, I'd just like to share a couple things that we talked about
Yeah,
yesterday.
absolutely.
One is that we looked at the retraining program, and at this year, so far, there were only 4 cities that were their participants. So we talked about whether Elizabeth could, for example, go out to city council meetings when Brenda goes and maybe give 5 or 10 minutes on the training program, leaving some information with the clerks.
Yep.
The other idea we had was the librarians, and when I got back to the meeting, we talked about that, and then I got back to the office and I said we already have the librarians reaching out to us for the annual meeting.
Okay.
I don't know if they usually do this in terms of the budget for us. I don't know if they'd want to give up time, but I'd see if they did. But if they said, if we don't have enough time, maybe you could, Elizabeth could just come to the meeting and give out some brochures, give out some information.
Even
because-
just leave flyers. Yeah.
Yeah, because, the libraries really are, they're the heart of the community in those smaller communities. And both the clerks and the librarians know a whole lot about their community, and they might be able to find people who aren't responding to, the conventional, traditional internet, social media kind of things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great
But
idea.
those are the things that we discussed. So to keep the retraining program going and making sure that it's serving the entire county.
Yep.
Last question, Anchored Hope made me think about YSS and their transition program for
Yes.
youth transitioning out of foster care. Are you also working with YSS?
Yes, we currently work with YSS. Since Anchored Hope is a newer nonprofit, we thought that would be a neat connection.
Yeah.
But yes.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Next, we have the ACPC's annual report, and I see that we have Nancy Kraus online. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Okay, we'll see if my camera will work. Looks like I'm fully connected. So, first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for giving us a few minutes today to talk about Ames Community Preschool. And we appreciate the support that we've received through the asset process and, of course, the County Board of Supervisors for the past few years. Just kind of a reminder of what it is that you all support. We do provide a sliding fee scale for families who qualify based on financial need. That financial need is supported either through multiple payroll stubs or through their last year's taxes. And so what you support would be the gap between what the family has to pay and what the cost of our tuition is. And so for many families, that offers a great deal of relief on their family situation and allowing them to provide the things that their family needs. So thank you for that. Last year, through the entire asset process, we were able to provide assistance to 80 different children in our care who qualified for those reduced fees. And I would lift up that about 75% of those children qualified for our Tier D level of assistance. And Tier D is really the highest need level, or in other words, it's the lowest pay that a family would have to provide for those children. So as I'm sure you've heard with many other programs and constituents you have, families are more and more stressed with their financial situations and looking for more help. And so you guys are able to do that through the asset process. I also would say we almost always have more families with need, then we are enrolling into that asset process and sometimes in our center. I believe there's currently approximately 40 families who are awaiting to qualify for those scholarships. I want to talk just a little bit about ACPC in our center. We do continue to strive towards increasing our quality. So this past year, we did submit information for the IQ4K. That's the quality rating system that the state of Iowa has established. So that looks at items that are of kind of a higher standard than even our typical licensing standards. With that submission, we have only entered into like the first tier of that, but it's a system that's developed for you to participate in over time and to do some new things that will grow your quality rating score. In addition to that, we are currently in the process of also submitting information for our accreditation with NACE. So again, it's another kind of quality rating system that looks at our center. So those are things that we are proud to participate in and to work towards. We do currently use the creative curriculum and emergent curriculum in each of our classrooms, including with the babies. Those would have different topical areas that continue to promote that growth and development of our kids. And there's always heavy focus on those relationship skills, which are so critical in those early years for kids. As with many child care centers, workforce always continues to be a challenge as far as recruiting your qualified applicants and maintaining applicants. I think child care centers can be identified as kind of a high stress environment for a lot of people. So, as a result, we do participate in the child care collaboration that United Way hosts. And so we do have some recruitment and retention payments that we give for new staff. We have worked on revamping our orientation materials to better support staff, and of course, just being out in the classrooms when available to continue to support our workforce. And then I think the last thing that I would lift up, because I kind of led with the fact that you guys help support families that have some financial need. So in working with our board of directors, we are working very hard this next year to not increase our tuition and to give that slight reprieve to families. And instead, again, focusing on retaining those staff and increasing our enrollment where we can. So with that said, again, I'd like to thank you for your ongoing support and ask if you have any questions for me.
Thanks, Nancy. Any questions for her?
No, it's a very great report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good report and nice to see you, Nancy.
Good to see you, Lisa. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye. All right, moving on. We have consideration of the 10/21/25 minutes.
I'd move approval of minutes
Second.
as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Basil?
Aye.
Merkin?
Aye.
Heddens, aye. Consideration of personnel actions.
I move approval of personnel actions is listed.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Merkin?
Aye.
Basil? Aye. Heddens, aye. Consent agenda.
I'd move approval of consent as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Basil?
Aye.
Merkin?
Aye.
Heddens, aye. We have no public hearing items, additional items. We have discussion and consideration of funding requests for childcare feasibility study. Yep, so I have Shannon And I don't know if has Sarah from United Way. I'm not sure if Sarah's, okay.
Everyone again. So we have been working with United Way of Story County. As you heard from Nancy Kraus of the Child Care Coalition, really trying to figure out what those child care gaps are, so we can serve Story County the best way. Childcare availability has been identified as the top human services priority by all 4 Story County asset funders, which include City of Ames, Story County Government, Iowa State University Student Government, and the United Way of Story County. Our childcare infrastructure is challenged to meet current demand and as we support our region's continued growth. So families face lengthy wait lists. Story County has over 5,000 children under age 6, with 65% of families having all parents in the workforce. Employers experience increased absenteeism, turnover, and recruitment challenges when employees cannot secure reliable childcare. Again, what Nancy said when she was talking about her workforce challenges. Our local economy loses productivity and potential as talented workforce leave the workforce or decline opportunities in Story County. I did want to bring up one statistic. According to population data, between 1.2 and 1.5 million workers are affected by inadequate childcare options each month. This results in anywhere from 9 to 26 million hours of potential work lost due to childcare challenges in any given week. And we know that we want to continue to grow our workforce, make sure that young people do have babies, and childcare needs to be a part of this. So what we are asking, we are working with Pendulum Dependent Care Solutions, LLC, to create a feasibility study. So starting in November, we'll begin this study. It will have 3 phases, and then we'll wrap up in March with action items that we can utilize to continue to grow childcare services here in the county. So it'll have actionable data and analysis. So a complete inventory of current childcare supply, capacity, and distribution, projections on population growth, affordability analysis, workforce assessment, identifying barriers to recruiting and retaining qualified educators, solutions for implementation in our community, prioritized expansion models, identified partnership between employers, providers, and local funders, funding and financing strategies that leverage public, private, and philanthropy resources, and a time-phased roadmap with clear milestones for implementation, as well as community engagement and shared vision. We know that we can't do this alone, so that's why we're already reaching out to our partners. Iowa State University is one of our partners, United Way, Ames Regional Economic Alliance, and we're hoping as well as Story County for this ask. So as you can see in the form that I submitted, the investment will be delivered by March. Your investment will provide the evidence base needed to make informed decisions about where and how to expand childcare capacity across Story County. Position Story County to compete for funding opportunities that require data-driven planning and demonstrate coordinated leadership across our local sectors. So this really is a unique moment for impact and action as we continue to see the county grow. So right now we are asking $10,000 from Story County to help with this feasibility study. I'd be happy to answer questions.
I guess one of my questions is the question that I always ask, which is, what's the plan for ensuring that all of the communities are involved in the conversation and it's not, I understand that it will be Ames. Ames is a big part of Story County.
Right.
But the need is so great outside Story County.
Yes.
And so I guess I'm just looking for reassurance on how those voices will be amplified in this study.
Yep, absolutely. And we are making sure that this is a county-wide study and it's not just on Ames. And as you know, too, if someone is traveling to come to Ames for work, their kids are probably in those smaller communities. So we do want to make sure that the need is really assessed throughout the county. And our partners know that as well, that it is a county-wide study, and we do not want to forget that. So it will be acknowledged in all three phases. So that first phase, second phase, and third phase, where we will discuss the childcare workforce baseline, the different KPIs. In phase 2, stakeholder engagement, the needs assessment. So again, all of those communities will be served, and then demand modeling and option design. So again, countywide study that will be through all three phases.
So
So
you have stakeholders from the other communities
Yeah,
part of it?
Yep, we're asking the other cities as well for funding.
Well, not just funding, but
Participation.
Participation, yes,
yeah.
yes, yep.
I guess what would make me feel better is to know that there are scripted questions that will be asked at every
At each
intersection,
or
at
each
every
city.
moment,
Yep,
to ensure that conversation is not,
lost.
yeah,
Yeah.
there are a lot of things that get discussed, and what we have seen is all the questions don't get asked. So if there are a list of questions that can be asked at every single meeting or at every single intercept, that would make me feel better to ensure that conversation is continuing and it doesn't require someone else saying, yes, but let's not forget.
Okay.
I want to make sure it's part of the fabric of the conversation.
Okay, absolutely,
Would agree.
absolutely.
So who is the consultant
Pendulum?
Pendulum.
and where are they located?
They are located out. Our client that we're working with, she's located out in Florida. But Brenda Dreyer has a really great contact over in Pendulum. So she was the one who scheduled our meetings with them, basically kind of getting a interview set up of this is what our needs are, how are we servicing our county, and so she comes highly regarded from a contact in Nevada for Pendulum.
Okay. I'm just concerned that, that they understand a more rural area potentially.
Yep.
And the other thing I would want to mention to you is I know that Hamilton County, Webster City did some work a while back, a few years ago on childcare, and I don't have all the specifics. I was going to follow up and get more information, but I didn't. But I would ask that a consultant would look at what is already going on, not just in Story County, but when you're looking at the labor shed, you got to include Hamilton and Boone in particular. So I think if it can fit within the study, I think they should look at the surrounding area.
Okay. Absolutely. And I'd be happy to send you the scope of work as well, so you can really see that as Pendulum kind of guided out all of those phases in real detail.
Any additional questions?
No, I definitely see the need.
Mhm.
If we were to fund this, where would we fund it through?
I see Lisa Markley online.
Lisa?
Lisa, if we were to fund this, do you have a suggestion?
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Here she comes.
Oh, she's coming.
I can hear the door.
I know you were. That's why I
Sorry,
called
I
your
meant to
number.
talk to you ahead of time.
Hello.
I guess the funding is your call. Countywide expenses would be my first thing. We do have an unassigned ending fund balance that would be able to sustain this.
Thanks.
I move that we fund the request for county participation in the child care feasibility study, amount of $10,000 to be taken from the countywide fund.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Merkin,
Aye.
Basil,
Aye.
Hens, aye.
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yep. That's where I was thinking it would come from too.
Mhm.
So nice to get that affirming. We have no departmental reports, other reports, an update to the 2025 alternatives program recidivism report.
That's Shelby.
Shelby,
Shelby.
you can come up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at the end.
At the end, we're moving fast.
I do have some data for you guys.
Thank you.
We try to move along, be efficient here.
Thank you.
No, actually, we have it online
Mhm.
electronically. Yep.
I'm Shelby with the Alternatives Program. I'm the program manager currently. I have resigned, so I'll be leaving 11/6 and going to the Department of Corrections. And then I've brought Nicole with me. She's our care coordinator and will soon be the program manager. So before you, I've given the Iowa Department of Management Alternatives Recidivism Report. There's a lot there. I'm not going to go through every piece, but the last page, you'll see the breakdown of the recidivism report. So for program completers, that meaning people that come in, get the evaluation, and if they're recommended treatment, they complete that treatment. The recidivism rate is only 12%, which has steadily gone down every year of the program. If you remember, when the program completed at that time and wrapped up with the co-op grant, we were at a 17% recidivism rate for completers. And then as far as individuals who do not complete for whatever reason, these tend to be high needs individuals, people that are struggling with homelessness. They're often struggling with children and a lot of other factors that are affecting their sobriety. That recidivism rate is much higher at 61%. And that gives us a total recidivism rate of 17% for all participants, completers and non-completers. And then you'll see that we further break down the types of new charges. And what I like to see is that our completers have very low rates of felony charges, very low rates of new drug charges, and very low rates of violent charges. And again, you'll see that those rates are much higher for people who did not complete the program. The other report that I made, which you can tell is much less funded. This was a very costly, nice report that we paid for out of our budget, but this is just the report that I made for our demographic data, so a little lower budget. Again, the Department of Management, they watch all past participants, so we're running like a longitudinal study in a lot of ways. So we will continue to follow these past participants with the Department of Management, and we have asked for them we're kind of looking at changing the budget for next year a little bit in that budget line because we would actually like a standard recidivism rate for all simple misdemeanor charges that we cover in our program so that we have something to compare to. The last that I looked into it was about 28% of people with simple misdemeanors complete a new charge in the future. That's a pretty old stat, and it's not something that is focused on the 6 charges that we follow. And so that's why we've asked for them to potentially include that. It would increase the budget a little bit. It wasn't as much as I thought it would be, about $1,500 extra, but that would be a one-time run for that data. And then it's something we could look at in, I think, another 10 years. For the demographic data, this is just people that have completed in the past year. So we're just looking at fiscal year 2025. So from July of last year to July of this year. So we had 218 referrals total, 80 total participants. So that's a 36% referral rate coming into intakes. 140 males referrals and 78 female referrals. which matches the arrest rates when you look at more men are arrested for substance use related charges than women are. So I like to see that. We like to keep an eye on the demographic data compared to the arrest data within our county. As far as participants, so people that actually started the program, we had 73 completers, 91% completion rate. 3 participants are still active in the program, so they are within the cohort, and I do believe that they're on track to be completed. We had 4 non-completers, so only 5%. As far as race demographics, again, these match the demographics of the arrests that we're seeing within our county, which again, we want to keep a close eye on. 76% of arrests are Caucasian, 15% African American, 5% other, 2.5% American Indian, and 1.25% Asian American. As far as ethnicity goes, 86% of participants are non-Latino and 13% are Latino. Referral stats, so this is how we code our referrals. So we look at separating law enforcement referrals, so that would be from any PD within the county, but also that includes Julie Saxton with the mental health advocate with Ames PD. And then charges filed, that's anything that is within prosecution's office. So that means that the charges have already been filed and are pending. Community member referrals, that could be anything from the person themselves to a parent to a community support within the county, so case management, the Bridge Home, substance use treatment centers, the ER is another big one within that. And then charges pending, it's a smaller category, but it's, I would say, the most important. So those are pre-arrest referrals specifically. So that is when the officer is choosing to hold the charge in something called abeyance, and they are expecting the participant to complete the same expectations anyone else would within the program, but that charge does not go through if the person completes the program. If they don't, then we would have asked for them to file those charges with prosecution's office. I like to report that 100% of those referrals completed. And as far as I know, none of those individuals have committed new crimes. So these tend to be really young people, their first time getting in trouble, and they're pretty scared. So you can see that community member referrals, that's our highest percentage of referrals. And then 1/3 of our referrals are coming from prosecution's office and about 1/3 from law enforcement, which again, those are great numbers. We used to have a much higher rate coming from prosecution, but now that we've gotten more law enforcement buy-in, we're getting a lot more pre-arrest and community-based referrals, which is great. As far as age, I think this is one of our most important demographics. Our program is specifically wanting to get first-time offenders or people that are cycling through the program. So you'll see I sort of gave you 3 different ways of looking at this data. The mean age for the individuals that we serve is 28 years old, but 63% of the individuals we serve are between 18 and 25, which is great. It's ideal. And you can see on the chart, I kind of broke it down every couple of years just so you can really see that majority of our referrals are very young. And we really want that. We want to catch addiction early and we want to be preventative with our program. But you can also see that we do serve people later in life and the people that may be struggling in our community that didn't have these supports when they were younger. And then the last thing that I reported on are the substances. So this is a little different stat. I want to make sure you guys know that this is, a lot of these individuals use more than one substance. So you're going to see that there's 517 responses. And if you looked at the previous report, we only had about 300, I think 50 people that have run through the program total. So again, I want you to know that multiple people will mark more than one substance when we meet with them. The highest rate of substance use reported is marijuana, which does not surprise me with the demographic that we're serving, which is mostly young people. Most people start with marijuana, nicotine, and alcohol, which coming in second is alcohol. And then meth use is fairly high. I think this is a little underreported. We often tend to do our intakes. They tell us one thing, and then they go and they get their evaluation done in a urine test, and we find out a little bit more. Opiate use is fairly low, and I do want to address that because we are funded by opioid settlement funds. I think the most important thing to remember with this is that the opioid funds were given for a reason, and one of those reasons is that many of those people are gone, right? And sorry, I get emotional because I know a lot of people that passed with that, epidemic, right? And so I think it's important that we're being very preventative and we're catching people really young, but we may not get people struggling with opiate use because they're not here anymore, right? That's why we have these funds. So sorry, it's hard to talk about because a lot of people are gone now. So, but sorry. I think that we're doing good work, and I really want to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to continue the program. And I'm very proud of this program. I'm very proud of the person that is moving into the position. She's done great things. She's already started some lunch and learns that we're hosting within our building, and I think those are great because she brings a wealth of knowledge of the resources that are available. And so just the things she's already started doing give me hope that she's going to take the program into a great direction. But I think it was important to note that we don't want to forget where these funds came from and why we were given them. And we still want to address opiate use, but it is much harder to obtain opiates. And that's great because that's ideal, right? We don't want people getting pushed pain medication the way it was, a couple decades ago. But it will take decades to heal from the trauma that was caused by the opioid crisis. And I think that this program is doing a great job of addressing that and hopefully catching people very young in addiction. But I also want to thank the county attorney's office because without their support, especially in the beginning of this program, we would not have any referrals and we would not have any participants to report on. So thank you to Tim, and then also a big thank you to the chief within Ames because, again, he pushed the officers to really utilize this program from the start. So that's all I have. Do you have any questions?
I don't have a question. I just want to thank you for all that you've done and for getting this off ground. And, I'm hoping that more counties would replicate something like this.
I don't have any questions, but I just want to say thank you, specifically Shelby, for all of the heart and energy and passion you've invested in every single person who's come through the program. I think you both do amazing work, and I know we'll continue to do amazing work. This is not something you can do without a passion for the people you're serving. And both intercepting people early on in addiction, but also intercepting them early on in their involvement with the legal system is so important to preserving people's future happiness, productivity, participation in the communities at large. And I just can't say thank you enough because we all have really great ideas, but it takes the people actually doing the work every single day. And believe me, we know the hard work that you guys put in working with the people that you're serving. So thank you.
Thank you.
Shelby, did I hear you saying hear you say that you're going to the Department of Correctional Services?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, they're lucky to be getting you.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, that you'll be a great addition to a great staff over there.
Thank you. I appreciate all your support.
Thank you
You
for
guys have been
everything
amazing.
you've done. And Nicole, you've got some big shoes to fill.
She's got big feet.
She got big feet? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you're already doing a
Microphone
great
on.
job and we'll expect great things from you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, it has to be green.
It's all right. All right. Any upcoming agenda items?
This time.
Okay. Now's the time for public comment number 2, comments from the public on items not on this agenda. The board may not take any action on the comments due to the requirements of open meetings law, but may do so in the future. If anyone in the public meeting room would like to make public comment, please come forward, or if you're online, please raise your hand. And seeing none, we will close public comment number 2, liaison assignments, committee meeting updates and announcements. Supervisor Merkin.
Okay, we have a meeting this afternoon regarding some strategic plan updates, I see. And I'll be on a webinar with Iowa State Association of Counties regarding the lawsuit regarding the pipeline. Tomorrow, there will be an ISAC webinar regarding the pipeline lawsuit. There's also a ribbon cutting later at the Frankie Olson Collaboration Hub at United Way. That's a long one. We have our office recognition, it looks like, on Thursday. And Friday, a tour at Slater. And next Monday, not sure. Just a second. Next Monday, I'm going to be participating in an IDOLS webinar on wetlands. Get some more information for our WMAs. So that's what I've got coming up.
This afternoon, I've got the strategic planning meeting. I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon, so I'll be out late in the afternoon. Tomorrow morning, I have a CIJDC subcommittee meeting to review policies, and then I will be zooming into the pipeline case webinar. Then we have a housing action plan meeting after that. I'm not sure I'll be able to make the ribbon cutting because the housing action plan meeting goes right up until 4, but if we finish early, I'll be there. And then the environmental health recognition Thursday morning, the wellness committee meeting, and then a webinar, corporate ownership of housing webinar. Thursday evening, I have a CFR executive committee meeting and then full board meeting after that. Friday is the Slater tour. I will be on the subcommittee, the hiring committee for CIJDC, and we're trying to get those interviews set. So I might have, I hope I don't have to miss the Slater tour. So we'll see. And Monday, potentially another CIJDC policy subcommittee meeting, unless we get it all done tomorrow. That is my week so far.
I have the strategic plan this afternoon. I have a CICS entrance conference. Tomorrow I have a dislocated worker meeting, and then I have a meeting with the ARC, and then I do plan to attend the ribbon cutting. Friday, unfortunately, I probably won't be able to make the recognition because Paul has a physical therapy appointment right before that. I just don't think I can. That's Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to make it in time for that. And then I have a mental health meeting Thursday afternoon, and then Friday I do have the later tour set up, and then I will be out for the next couple weeks after that, helping my daughter recuperate after surgery.
I had one thing I forgot. Wanted to remind everybody that today's National First Responders Day. We passed that proclamation last week, but today is the day. So everybody who is a first responder out there, thank you for all the good work you do. And if you know first responders, thank them today.
Thank you. Next, I would take a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Iowa Code Section 21.5, Para 1C.
I would make that motion that we enter into closed session.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Basil?
Aye.
Merkin?
Aye.
Heddens, aye. We are reconvening back in open session. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Merkin?
Aye.
Basil?
Aye.
Heddens, aye. We are adjourned.